I think it bothers me that cell phones or digital attachment is giving people the ability to just because you can have communication doesn't mean you should have communication. A communication line can stay open without being used, because when a person's not busy communicating, they're more apt to be living life. And what I mean by communicating is I mean with somebody who's not in that same moment. Prime communication, the reason I think we evolved into humans who are intelligent is because the time we spend with each other and how we share perspective in that and how we can grow as individuals by listening to understand. And I think communication is wonderful for that, and it can be on many levels as long as that's the goal, to meet with and exchange perspective and to promote growth. But it's when insecurity gets involved, and I know this personally, I feel, and you don't hear back, and that feeling takes over everything else. You would have to stop and spend time to think about actually what you were concerned about in the first place, because that feeling would take over. That insecurity. That sense of a feeling from a moment in time in your life where you felt abandoned on whatever level. And that having a real emotion to it. And if that's one of the emotions that you experience at a young age, that will set you up for wanting to avoid that again in the future. That's understandable. So, because it's a pretty common thing, especially amongst low and middle class, because it happens when a family has to choose between being a stay-at-home parent while the other one is a breadwinner. This is back when most families had two adults in the household because they weren't being hit with other huge issues and distractions and trauma. But the OG family, got hit by society, where life got more expensive. Our experiences got flooded with commercialism. Commercialism that almost requires you to buy in order to be alive. In a life, in a world where people kill each other over the right to life. To include moments when making a choice like that might be excruciatingly necessary. Our insecurity can't be in control. If our insecurity is in control, then we are not in control. The thing that is in control once our insecurity is in control is they put trust in our intellect. We only know what we know. And therefore, everything else that we don't know, which is a whole lot, I don't care how smart you think you are. If you think you know, that means you take offense when you come across things in life that present you with the idea that maybe you don't know. Oof, that one feels weird. I don't know everything. I don't even feel the need to put a word after the words describing what I know. I don't know anything, everything. I don't know. Here's what I do know. I know the feeling of love. I know the feeling of sharing space with someone who wants to share that space with you. I know the feeling of playing, being playful, and feeling accepted. And I also know the feeling of playing and feeling rejected. And I wouldn't wish that on any of my friends. And I'm living my life based on my awareness that I can gather every single day through every interaction. And based on that awareness, I live a privileged opportunity to be thoughtful of that awareness. Because my obligation with the opportunity of being aware of something makes me obligated to demonstrate and model for the people around me in my community how also to be aware and how also to be thoughtful. Because that investment in them is actually an investment in myself. I started doing something recently that I've called community tithing. As a child, my parents, my family, we spent 3-4 days a week at the church, so it made sense to share 10% of the income. And I've been thinking about culture and what culture is. And culture is the art that we take in, the art that we're around, the art that we create, the art that we accept. And I feel thankful to be aware and able to share a little with the people around me that help create the culture that I get to dwell and thrive in, that I get to raise my children in, that I get to find friendship in. My insecurities aren't in control. I am a spiritual being having a physical experience. Sometimes I do like to check out and be a total human. And sometimes I get stuck in that. But I know how to do the work and come back. And I know how to not need to be distracted. And my desire is only that that happens for you in the right moment, in the right way, with the right process that only you know. And I wish for peace and love. And understand that the only reason that I know of peace and love is because I have awareness of their opposites. I'm doing okay.